Now we go to another question, HKDSE 2012. Okay, question 51, which is on your revision exercise 10. Okay, A1, you see that suppose tangent U equals to this one. Show that U equals to minus pi over 5. Okay, it is again the trigonometric functions, which is chapter 4 and chapter 5. Okay, and you may not understand very well, but I will try to do it. But some students think that, can I do it like this? Tangent minus pi over 5, for example, equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then I show that this is left hand side, right hand side, okay? 1 plus cosine 2 pi over 5 over sine 2 pi over 5 equals to 1.234. Can you claim that this is the answer? No. Why? Because there may be more than one answer or something else, okay? Right. This is maybe one of the answers, but you have to show that it is the exact answer for this case. So you cannot do it. Even you do it, you cannot get the full mark, okay? I'll do it later. I'll show you how to do it later, okay? And then we go through the whole question first. This one, very similar. You should notice that very similar, except this minus 1 becomes plus 1, okay? So you see that these two parts are related. That's why we call it A1 and A2. I think that if I can do A1, I can do A2. Now, puppy, let's see. Express this in the form of x plus a square plus b square. Okay, this is a computing the square. Okay, how to do it? X square plus 2 cosine 2 pi over 5 x. Okay, you have to add cosine square 2 pi over 5, but of course you have to minus cosine square 2 pi over 5. Okay, and then there's a plus 1 here. Okay, you see that this will be a perfect square. And what's this one? The perfect square is x plus cosine 2 pi over 5 all square. Okay, 1 minus cosine square, that is sine square 2 pi over 5. Okay, I do this B1, and then you're going to evaluate this. You see that this integral minus 1 to 1 sine 2 pi over 5, okay, this will becomes x plus cosine 2 pi over 5 all square plus sine square 2 pi over 5, okay, and then dx. How to do this? It seems very complicated how to do this, but I want to tell you this is in the form of x squared plus a squared. Okay, there's no side here, but for this kind of problem you have to let x becomes a tangent theta, okay, tangent theta. So now for this case I will let x plus cosine 2 pi over 5 as a which is sine 2 pi over 5 tangent theta, okay, tangent theta, okay? You may think of how to do it and something like that, but you are afraid to do it because you do not have a solid background of what you have learned, okay? And now I'm going to replace it, okay? dx will be replaced by sine 2 pi over 5 secant square theta. D tangent theta is secant square theta, right? D theta, okay? And now I go back to the original problem, okay? Original problem. Okay, this is not -1, this is not 1, but I try to write the rest, okay? Here, if I replace the x by this x sine 2 pi over 5 secant square theta, d theta. This one I did not replace it, okay? Right? This is just a constant, okay? And this one will be replaced by sine 2 pi over 5 tangent theta all square plus sine square 2 pi over 5, okay? You see that this 2 is size are the same, okay, which becomes sine square 2 pi over 5, and this is sine square 2 pi over 5 and sine square 2 pi over 5. Okay, I will simplify it as secant square theta. This will become tangent square theta plus 1, okay, d theta. This is exactly the same. This is also secant square theta, secant theta, square theta, d theta. So this is only theta per c, okay, I will do it. This is 1, okay. And now, what is the -1 and the 1? What is the -1 and the 1? -1, what does it mean? It means x equals to -1. I go back here, this line, okay. -1 plus cosine 2 pi over 5 equals to sine 2 pi over 5 tangent theta. You're going to change to tangent theta. But if you see that it is exactly this tangent theta is exactly part A, right? So the u is minus pi over 5 minus pi over 5 when it is 1, okay, when it is 1, you change another color, okay, when it is 1 plus cosine 2 pi over 5 sine 2 pi over 5 tangent theta, okay. Again, it is very similar. Okay, you look at here. This is 1 plus cosine over sine. Okay, this is V. Okay, I don't know the V, which I will later find it out. Okay, this is just an angle. Okay, and then I will go back to part A later. Okay, and part B, part C, I see that it is almost the same, except changing the angle to this one from 2 pi over 5 to 7 pi over 5. Okay, I think you do a C1 first, do the computing square, and then you will get similar answers. Okay, of course there may be other good methods, but I'm not going to discuss here. As you see that you can solve it, then it's okay. a little bit complicated, but you can follow the step of part B, not bad. Okay, now I go back to part A1 and V. What I'm going to find out the V. Okay. Here, how to do it, you cannot easily think about how to do it. But I try to write this as -1 because it is a double angle plus cosine square pi over 5 minus sine square pi over 5. Is it okay? Over sine 2 pi over 5 is 2 sine pi over 5 cosine pi over 5. Okay, you see that this is minus this one is minus sine square pi over 5, again minus sine square pi over 5 over 2 sine pi over 5 cosine pi over 5. You cancel out minus 2 sine pi over 5 over 2 cosine pi over 5. You see that this is minus tangent pi over 5. Okay, you put the minus side back and then you can find out the answer because the domain is here. Okay, you have only one answer. You have only one answer. I'm not going to show it. And then part B2 is very similar, but this time this is, I change another color. This is +1. Okay, this is +1. So I'm not going to combine this one and this one. This one and this one becomes cosine square theta. Okay, right. So I write it as 2 cosine square pi over 5. This is cosine square pi over 5. This comes from the 2 tick over 2 sine pi over 5 cosine pi over 5. Whoa, this one is better. It is just cosine pi over 5 over sine pi over 5. Okay, which is 1 over tangent pi over 5, right? 1 over tangent pi over 5. That is tangent. This is tangent U, tangent V. You know that V is just pi over 2 minus pi over 5, okay? And then therefore it is 3 pi over 10. 3 pi over 10, okay? And now I know that the V is 3 pi over 10, okay? Done. Again, very long. I hope you can do it on